What up, hotheads? I'm Henry, and this is Blaze the Roof. This week, we're reviewing a sauce named Mark's Fermented Kimchi. The company is Mark's Hot Sauces. It is out of Canada. It was founded by Mark Cregan in 2014. Mark has been fond of cooking since the age of 13, and he has a biology degree. The city they're out of is Montreal, Quebec. It's the city that hosted the first Olympics that Canada ever hosted. Montreal was the largest city in Canada until Toronto took it over. And it has the second highest restaurants per capita after New York City in the world. Also, their sister city is Hiroshima. That must have been really awkward for U.S.-Canadian relationships. But anyway, famous people from here include Melissa Off the Mar, formerly the bassist of Hole and Smashing Pumpkins, Emmanuelle Chriqui, who is one of the most gorgeous women that I've ever laid eyes on, Leonard Cohen, who is not one of the most gorgeous people I've ever laid eyes on, Peter Cullen, who I believe celebrated his 84th birthday, who is also the voice of Optimus Prime, was born here, as was Celine Dion, and one William Shatner. All right, so let's now look at the packaging. So Mark's always has a clear bottle that lets the color of the sauce be the star in a way, and it always has white markings and the white wrap. This is very common for all of Mark's sauces. This is, I believe, the second or third sauce. As it says, it's fermented kimchi. Looking at the ingredients, we see vegan kimchi. Now, there's a little bit more that goes into that, right? Napa cabbage, Korean radish, green onion, fresh ginger, gochujang, and sea salt, distilled vinegar, aged Thai chilies, sea salt, fresh garlic, fresh green onion, fresh ginger, apple cider vinegar, gluten-free soy sauce. All these ingredients that have the star next to it are organic. All of my sauces are handmade in Montreal using only the finest local ingredients whenever possible. 100% natural and preservative-free. I hope that you'll enjoy them as much as my friends and I do. Why, thank you, Mark. It's a nice sentiment. The very first ingredient in this is one that we have never covered. It's what's known as kimchi. It's the theme of this sauce. Kimchi is a Korean dish. It's actually the name of the fermentation process, and there are actually over 180 types of kimchi. The most popular being the baichu kimchi, which is the Napa cabbage. Other ones include the daikon, which is very tasty. So kimchi is full of fiber, vitamins, nutrients, and probiotics. It does use lacto fermentation. There's a bacteria that's that creates lactic acid, and that's what's used in the fermentation. It is considered one of the healthiest foods in the world. Not a lot of sugar, not a lot of calories. It's got probiotics and a ton of vitamins. It has been around for over 1,500 years, dating back to during the time of the Three Kingdoms period. Koreans converted vegetables into kimchi as a way of making them last longer. And basically the veggies were piled onto salt, buried in a sandstone jar underground where fermentation took place. Not only the fermentation, but I guess the cold, because I guess it gets cold in Korea, would help preserve the vegetables. Chili peppers were not an original part of kimchi. They were later introduced when chilies were introduced to Korea in the 17th century. Scientists devised a way to make kimchi space travel worthy. So under normal space conditions, the space radiation would actually continue the fermentation process, and the pouch would probably burst. And with all the sensitive instruments and expensive instruments that they have for measurements, that would not be good, obviously. So they irradiated the kimchi after the fact and basically kind of completed, I guess, the fermentation to a point where it wouldn't explode anymore, and that allowed it to be used in space. See, you do learn a thing or two from me here. Before we get any further, let's hear from this week's sponsor. With the dwindling popularity of medieval times, we decided to revamp and add a twist. Before knights rode horses into battle, before castles lined the hills of Europe, honor, steel, and silence ruled the East. Welcome to All for Shogun, where the code of the samurai comes to life. Each section is represented by famous samurai throughout the years. Witness legendary warriors battle for honor and glory right before your eyes. Will your clan rise, or will they fall? For dinner, you'll be feasting on sizzling yakitori, miso glazed ribs, and miso soup along with steamed veggies. With clashing swords and spears all around you, the fighting is so realistic, the losers might even commit seppuku. There are even geisha intermissions and surprise ninja attacks. Bring your family, cheer your champion, dine like a dining room. All for Shogun. The way of the warrior awaits. Now for the moment of truth. Smells like kimchi. I personally love kimchi, but I like sour, fermented, anything. It should be a really good sauce. I'm excited about this. And why more people have not thought of this is beyond me. But I'm going to be looking for cabbage flavor, some chili peppers, right? They use Thai peppers for this. This is a thick sauce. This one only clocks in at 18,000, so I'm looking for flavor. I'm looking for the fermented flavor, so it should be sour. This is very thick, so this is all I'm going to get out of it. And by nature, that's going to limit what this sauce can be used with as well. But we'll get into that in a bit. Let me just taste it, and let me see what we come up with. So it's red. If you ever see kimchi, any vegetable will be covered in red because of the red, the chili peppers. All right, here we go. Cheers. It's sour. It's tart. There's a little bit of heat behind this. Man, that is good. That is really fucking good. All right, I'm gonna go to H Mart and buy some kimchi very soon. Man, this is okay. First of all, extremely tasty. It tastes just like kimchi. If that was their goal, that's perfect. And it's got a little bit of heat to it, and it's sour. So it captures the whole essence of kimchi. If you ever had kimchi and you want to just have this in a bottle, this is your sauce. I would use this on anything that if you want to just add a little bit more, something more sour, a little bit more sour flavor, or if you're using Korean dishes. Actually, you know what would be great? I think a lot of Korean, especially if you do like the short rib or the bulgogi, it's got a sweetness to it. This would be a perfect complement to add some sour, so you can offset that flavor and it just balance it out more. I would definitely use it on Asian food. Anything that I would probably use sriracha, except for the opposite effect, because sriracha has a little bit more sweetness to it. I would add this to add a little bit more sour, but same kind of foods, Asian foods, rice bowls, anything like that, veggies. You could put this on any kind of veggie. You could put it even on kimchi if you want to spice it up even more. Very cool sauce. This is a buy. I just think it's so unique, but it's so good that, yeah, I would have this, period. Because I could also act as a backup for my, for sriracha. Excellent job. I have nothing else to say. Incredible sauce. Next week, I'll be reviewing a sauce from Fresco Sauce named Arbol Scorpion. Until then, I'm Henry, and remember, spice up your life. Take care.